As you write your life story, you're far from finished. Are you looking to close the book on your job? Maybe turn a page in your career? Be continued at the Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies. Our professional master's degrees and certificates are designed to meet you where you are and take you where you want to go. At Georgetown SCS, the learning never stops, and neither do you. Write your next chapter. Be continued at scs.georgetown.edu/podcast.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Experience the action from a luxury suite at Capital One Arena. Watch Ovechkin chase history as the Capitals hit the ice, or catch the Wizards take on the NBA's best. Rock out with Disturbed, vibe with Mary J. Blige, or dance the night away with Kylie Minogue. Premium seating, VIP service, and unforgettable moments all under one roof. Book your suite now at CapitalOneArena.com/premier. Capital One Arena. Watch in style, live in the moment.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup. Happy birthday to you.
Serenade.
Happy birthday to you.
Finish it. Finish the fucking song if you're going to sing it.
I know, but I'm telling you that I was really trying to do a Subway Dust Maryland version of this, but it sounds terrible, but I will do it right now. Happy birthday, dear Dominick. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Chris. Not since seeing Audra McDonald and Gypsy have I been this transfixed by vocals.
Oh, brother Dominick, happy birthday.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. It's been a whirlwind. I am on the island of Puerto Rico having a wonderful time. And I wasn't still supposed to be here, but within 5 minutes of arriving here last week, I thought, 4 days is not going to cut it. And I just sort of extended.
You love an extension.
I love. And can I tell you something? The moment I book a trip, I'm always prepared for an extension. It's like when Madonna or Beyonce go on tour and they jokingly say they'll do Madison Square Garden for 2 nights, but then have no date scheduled the following 5 nights because they know they're going to sell it out.
They're going to do 6 nights in a row. Yeah,
I know, because I am notorious for the moment I go on vacation anywhere new, before I leave the airport, I say out loud, I could live here. I could live here forever. I could have a house here.
Who are you, Hassan?
Pretty much. I want to live everywhere. I somehow never been to Puerto Rico before, and when I
don't think I've ever been.
Oh my word, enchanted, just absolutely enchanted. I don't know what else to say about it, but
you were at Wagon Wheel Watusi. I
was at a bar called Espina Watusi, which is just a cleaner, more vibrant version of Jackson Heights, as I told my traveling companion, and he could not breathe.
Okay. Brother.
We approached this area and he goes, "It's so Latin." And I just said, "It's Queens," basically is what this is. But everyone is dressed a little bit better here and is a little bit hotter. Yeah, highly recommend.
Hilarious, but you're having a great time.
A great time. We'll come back. And you are where? You are, I don't know if we'll be able to show people the visuals of this, but I'm in a tank top in a sunlit room in a beach hotel. Chris is in his car in a fucking turtleneck. And where are you?
I'm in Okemo, Vermont. I'm in Ludlow, Vermont, technically, on the Okemo Mountain Resort. Look out my window. Look at all the snow that they have.
Jesus Christ.
We really are in two polar opposites right now.
That is great. The DeRosas love a ski weekend. They love not just a weekend, it's a ski trip. They're a ski family.
It's a ski trip. Yeah, we are. We come this week. I always miss whatever you do for your birthday because we are always gone on your birthday on this exact trip.
That's true. Though I will be at the duplex this Friday if you're going to do a drive-by. And I don't know, should we be announcing
I think
that
we
publicly?
are doing a drive-by.
All right, good. Well, I'll be there from 6 to 9.
We're going to find out.
Naturally. So if any of you want to come by, feel free. I can't think of a better way to wake up than the very first thing I saw, literally, was a clip of one Don Lemon saying word for word, "Fuck off, Megyn Kelly." Like, oh, we are a meteor hurtling toward infinity. What? Remember when journalists were journalists? Now they go on YouTube and tell each other to fuck off.
Yes. I mean, Dawn's been twirling and twirling and twirling. It was only a matter of time.
These are the end times. So basically, MSNBC scandalously canceled Joy Reid's show.
Yeah, people are freaking.
Yeah, for a myriad of reasons. Rachel Maddow earlier this week went on NBC and basically read MSNBC for canceling that show, particularly canceling and shuffling shows that are hosted by people of color. Rachel Maddow, by the way, the very definition of I don't give a fuck. Like she's just level of confidence and a level of intelligence where she's like, I'm going to work no matter fucking what, but fuck you for doing this to my friend. Regardless of your politics, Joy gets canceled. Megyn Kelly does what she does, which is just talk enough shit to get in the post, which really the baseline for that is not much.
Clawing her way into the post. Yeah.
So Don Lemon then kicks off the day with "fuck off, Megyn Kelly." I'm like, so this isn't going to end now, really. It's not going to end until we explode.
Remember when Don Lemon was going to have like a podcast on Twitter?
Yeah.
Like, just think about that. Think about where we are now in the world where that was going to be something that was
right. Because the guy who was going to host him on that platform then bought the United States of America and just had no time to feature Don Lemon. So that's it. Politics aside, of course. So that was fun to wake up to. But our biggest story really is, as I'm sure you're all waiting for, our long anticipated review of Hilaria Baldwin Takes Manhattan, also known as the Baldwinitos, also just known on the Learning Channel as
the Learning Channel.
The Baldwins.
Dominic, we have not discussed our thoughts about this.
We have not.
Here we go. Go ahead. Why don't you start?
Herewith offer you my one-word review of the Baldwins.
Uh-oh.
Yikes. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I mean, yikes. You know where they failed? You got to do one thing to be a reality show player. You got to do one thing to make any show a contender. You have to not be boring. And I got to be honest, it just wasn't. They're not compelling. It just wasn't compelling at all.
No, so last night, which is Monday, as of you're listening on Wednesday, this is on Monday night, I was already 2.5 sheets to the wind and got on the mic with Kate Casey and did like a full hour. And when I tell you I'm horrified to hear what I sound like, because I know that I was drunk when I did it, and told her, I said at the beginning, I'm drunk. So like, here we go. But I do a whole hour ranting about this show. So if anyone wants, if you want to hear more of my thoughts, go there. I'm sure it's up right now. But his star power is so high, regardless of him looking unhoused and confused the whole time.
Yeah.
And so fat, and having like age spot. Like it's so bad. He looks horrifically bad. Despite that, his star power is so high that she is like -5 star power. She is not compelling to watch. There is nothing funny about her. There is not anything. And again, not that there's anything funny about him either, but at least I'm like, oh, this is an A-list actor. Like at least that I have. And that's basically all that we get from him. He does a few little asides to the camera. He's like, can you believe that I'm doing this? And I'm like, this is great. You know what I mean? There's like two little glimmers of him in the first episode of him being like, can you believe that this is happening right now? And everyone's like, no, we can't. She is so uninteresting in every way possible.
It's crazy.
And she's so on the defense the whole time. She is like addressing her accent, addressing this, addressing that. And obviously, as both of us can tell, they don't want to talk about the Rush shooting at all. Why would they? Although that's the only reason any of us are tuning in.
Find a way to do it where the tone victimizes them. But yeah, go on.
Yes. You can tell that they've added in all that footage afterwards. Like when they start filming this the first day, like they have no desire. You can tell they're like, we are not talking about this.
And
we're going to say there's something looming over our heads.
The careful wording of everything is annoying to listen to. You might as well just not have said anything at all, because the world's dumbest person knows you're speaking from a lawyer's script. It's not even worth it.
That scene needs to be the scene that we do it, like where I write down every single word
Mhm.
and we do it on the a la carte, is when she's in that kitchen and he's saying like, you look like an espresso model or whatever gross thing he was saying to her. And she was like,
Mhm.
get me ice. Remember that? And then they end up talking about it. The like word salad that they regurgitate to each other as they think that they're addressing this. And it's just a bunch of words strung together.
Mhm.
It was beyond. We're gonna knock it out of the park.
Well, here's what I want to suggest to you. I'm going to surprise you with this information, is that I'm adjusting
Okay.
that program we're going to do where we read the script. We are also going to ad-lib a considerable portion of it to make the show interesting. I want us to read from the script, but then end the scenes in a way that we wish had been done, in a way to sort of make these two people interesting. And I want to issue the following alarming yet utterly accurate statement to you. Are you ready for this one?
No, but go ahead.
Alec Baldwin wants to die. He doesn't want to be here anymore. This man can't walk. He can't think. He walks around OCD. I guess the one revelation in the show is that Alec Baldwin has actual OCD, not, as Ilaria will tell us, the joke version when everyone says, "Oh, I have OCD." He apparently actually has it. So most of this broadcast is of him organizing 7 baby bottles and diaper bags and all this other shit. It doesn't appear to be very OCD. It appears what any of us will do, but sure. But his lot in life is just to follow this woman and these children. And if he didn't have to provide for them, he would drive off of a cliff. I really believe that he looks just unhappy to be here at this point.
He said one of the darkest things I've ever heard in my life, and it was the biggest slam that's ever been uttered anywhere, is when he said, "You know when I love you the most?"
Yes, it was great.
Chillingly halting silence. And then goes, "When you're asleep." And she laughed and then gave him the finger like cutesily, like, as if it was like a joke. And I was like, oh my God. And on another show, that is fun. And like, we're like, oh my God, this is so great that it was so easy breezy, as if they're like breezing right past it. Like it was even that was not compelling or good.
When someone is like, when an annoying person, is trying to talk about themselves in a way to make them seem more compelling than they actually are. And like, they'll say to you, well, you know me, you know how I am. I'm crazy. I'm this, I'm that. You know me. It was a very me tone from both of them. Like, wait till you see how interesting we are when we talk about ourselves. It's like, I don't know you. I don't really care to. And I think that Duchess of Smucker's Meghan Markle and race stealer Ilaria Baldwin, these two are in a competition to the death about which one of them can be the most force-fed relatable to the populace of the world. Yes. I look at Ilaria and I see Meghan Markle almost the entire 37 minutes and 19 seconds, blessedly, because I streamed it rather than watching it on live television. And it still felt like 90 minutes when I was watching it. I was actually surprised.
And Dominic, did one thing happen? Nope.
No.
They drove to the Hamptons. That's what happened.
They ticked off the list of everything that we'd want to hear. They talked about the trial. Yeah. They talked about the age difference. They
Checking
talked
the boxes.
About the language thing. And by the way, just utterly ridiculous that she is sometimes flying in and out of a Spanish accent with the kids. And I appreciate you wanting to teach them a second language, but I don't appreciate you giving them names that when you say their names and then I see what they look like, I start laughing at your child. Like, I don't want to do that to them.
Yeah. And like, again, as far as the like, she is an accent, like that's not what we're upset about.
Right.
When you speak in Spanish, like you speak in an accent, like if you speak it fluently, like you don't speak it like an American would speak it. I get that. Like that's not what I'm here about. I'm here about how you say cucumber. Like I'm here about like her being like on the cover of like Spanish magazines. And it's like our biggest star, Hilaria Baldwin, which PS, when they went back and showed those photos of her when they first got together, like when I tell you yowza.
Yowza,
like
because
she looks exponentially better now than
she is
did
Rachel
then.
Dolezal back then. She was 100% trying to pass herself off as something other than Caucasian. Like she's got jet black hair.
Yeah.
She's also had a considerable amount of good work done. Just want to throw that in there as a possible positive. And she was absolutely Rachel Dolezaling herself. There's no doubt about it. She has toned it down because everyone's been calling her out on it. And I just wish that she would come clean about the cucumber thing and just say like, yeah, I was pretending to be another race because I thought it was cool, period. Like she won't do it. She won't do it.
Yeah, no, she can't. And that's the thing is we would be like, yeah, you did. We caught you. Like we caught you red-handed and we got it. You know, I also think, let's never forget that like they met at Pure Food and Wine. Like the grift of all grifts in the
world. They don't mention because they know that it's a bullshit thing to say. You know, like they know it makes them look fucking ridiculous. So they'll
met at the scene of the crime of Bad Vegan. You know what I mean? Like let's not forget that that's where she nabbed him. So.
Well, I will tell you, I wish that we were here like hate loving it or love hating it. And I'm not.
But we're not. No, same. It's not good. Like it wasn't even, and again, it could be terrible, but be funny. Like when the kids were slamming them a little bit, I was like, oh, this has potential. If they could, remember when the son, she was like, who's a better driver, me or daddy? And the little kid looked at her and was like, neither of you. You guys both suck. Yeah. Like that at least is something.
Right.
But that's like the one thing we're going to get. You know, I can't.
A second season of this, I just don't see it. I truly don't.
No. And this was like setting her up to have this show to be a vehicle for her to make money if he went to prison.
Yeah.
Are we wrong? Am I wrong about that?
100%.
Right.
There's no
if he does go to prison, it's
to do it. He's got no other reason to do this.
But then she could just like milk it and really ask for like a bajillions of dollars once he's in prison and she's like doing a phone call from jail with him. Like again, we're there. I'm watching. Hello. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give this one more week and then I might fall off. I have to be honest.
No, and then, same. I wish there was at least something funny.
Yeah. Her telling you that his mental health has declined in the past couple of years makes it even worse. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, it's not.
But he appears to be, he gets around like an 80-year-old man. Like that's how he roams the earth. He can't walk. It is darker and sadder than you thought.
And I think that it's even like, I wonder how much of that is on purpose. So he looks like, oh, I'm distraught by this. What happened? Like, I'm so sad. Like when they're in that interview together, that's the worst shot interview I've ever seen in my life where they're both just plopped on that weird couch and she like has her feet. They're basically recreating the lap pic. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like they're basically recreating that picture as an interview and he looks so bad. He looks down. He has a big pot belly. He's in like a shitty shirt. His hair isn't even done. He looks so terrible. And I think it's on purpose so that he looks like he's like destroyed by the fact that this woman is dead.
Well, speaking of the Spanish language, dead. Now moving on, since we're speaking of the Spanish language, allow me, since I'm in Puerto Rico, to give you my now perfectly honed Spanish accent.
Here we go, everyone, buckle up.
Actress Carla Sofia Gascon, the star of Emilia Perez, she of the old Twitter controversy, which forced Netflix to drop her from their Oscar campaign. Well, as they say, the bitch is back, and Netflix has had a change of heart. And on their dime, Carla will be at this Sunday's Academy Awards. And to Carla, I say this. I feel like this planet is minutes from death anyway, so burn the place down and show up dressed as George Floyd. Who gives a fuck at this point? Just triple down on it instead of saying, I didn't mean it. Of course you meant it. You talked about George Floyd. You talked about Hollywood. You talked about Gaza. We already know who you are. Don't back away from it. Just keep pissing people off at this point. I don't agree with her at all, by the way, just for the record. Her opinions are hers alone. But you know what? If she shows up there and is just like, oh, I didn't mean it, or I was drunk and it was taken the wrong way, then you lose me forever. If you're going to be an asshole, stay an asshole.
And also Netflix, guess what? Like you got egg on your face because you could have Googled this and found that she said all these things and you didn't. So when they're trying to be like, oh my God, I'm so surprised. It's like, why?
Again, the background check that I had to go through when appearing briefly on Teresa Caputo Raising Spirits was like a phone book worth of material.
No, not even me being on camera. The fact that I was with I was going to be with minors
Mhm.
on set.
Yes.
A few of us had to get like background checks to be like, okay, you're like, okay. And you're not a creepy pedophile that's like putting weird shit on the internet. Do you know what I mean? Like that's basically what mine was. I wasn't even on camera and mine came back and it was like, I mean, it was like any political thing you've ever said ever on your
Right.
social media. It's like flagged. It wasn't even, but again, a phone book of shit that's like, again, I mean, we've talked about it already,
No,
but
mine went back to
yeah.
they pulled shit from 2009.
From when I was in high school.
Oof.
Yeah. Yes.
That's why I used to like go back. I had a thing for a full year where every day on the memories, I would go back and look at what I'd written on that day and just delete it. And then I just stopped doing it because it doesn't matter. If people want to find shit out about you, they're going to find it out. So whatever sins you've done, just learn to accept them because digitally, they're never going away.
Yeah. We keep saying like 2009, but hers were like,
oh, hers were recent.
So
oh, yeah,
like
absolutely.
But yeah, like
even,
it's like
it wouldn't even matter.
Like,
once you've said
like
it,
extra bad.
Yeah, once you've said it, you've said it. There's no excuse. The stuff that I said was stuff that, which I won't detail here, but socially unacceptable words today, which back then we were throwing around fairly casually. My opinions have never changed, but the language I've used has changed in keeping with whatever I'm supposed to say now. But her tweets were like 2 days before she started filming this movie. And then
like literally.
She's like, George Floyd is a thug. Oh, thanks. Now I'm going to France to film a movie about Mexico with no Mexican people working on it.
Where I play a cartel boss,
right.
by the way. Let's never forget. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, will we get penis to vagina at the Oscars?
I really hope not.
It's all my mom and my sister have been talking about. I'm like, can't they just come on? Can't they just perform it?
There's no way.
Like, man, to a woman, like, can't we just have it? So,
the movie might actually have gotten more respect had that number not been in it, to be honest with you.
I know, but it gave me, it's a gift that keeps on giving to me. But they did confirm that Cynthia and Ariana will be doing a Wicked Man.
Which is fantastic. And
I can't wait. Cannot wait.
To boot, speaking of old claw nails, Cynthia Erivo will be hosting the Tony Awards this year.
Can't wait.
That is a
beautiful,
wonderful, perfect choice. And she is a Tony winner herself. She has the respect of, I mean, she has a respect of artists, which is also a wonderful thing. She's an actual talent, maybe one of the most talented people alive. I think she's going to do a great job.
Speaking of beautiful, Dominick, your chain that you're wearing right now is one that I would never have allowed you to buy if I was with you. However, it looks great.
Well, I got to tell you, in Puerto Rico, I'm a prince with this on. All of us, me and all of the boys here are going out with these giant chains.
All of us. Yeah, all of us.
Now, I'm not Ilaria-ing myself. I'm just saying, if I'm here until I talk, I'm one of us. I'm one of us.
Sure.
While we're still talking about the Oscars, which are coming up, how about in the greatest Oscar campaign in history, the producers of Conclave poisoned the current Pope to get more eyes on their film? I think this is genius. I wish they didn't have to kill the old man to do it, but bravo, Conclave. You really got my attention.
What happens if, like, as the Oscars are airing, it's like, he's dead? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're interrupted by breaking news that the Pope has died.
Then the award has to go to Conclave. But they, no matter who's won, they just have to hand it over. They have to hand it over to Isabella Rossellini, who will go up there and all she will say is, Ingrid Bergman was my mother. Thank you. And then just walk away. Have you seen the compilation online, by the way? There's compilations of every time Isabella Rossellini gives an interview, she mentions that Ingrid Bergman was her mother. And someone has strung together every time she's done it in the past 10 years, and it's like 40 minutes long. No. It's fantastic. It's truly fantastic.
Send it to me, please. I'm begging you. Oh, God.
Did you happen to catch the SAG Awards this weekend?
I did. We watched most of it, yeah. It was fine.
It was incredibly boring, but also fine.
Yeah. Jane Fonda's speech was incredible. Deserved. Great. Loved it. 100%. Other than that, it was like,
sort of boring, right?
This is like the one right before the Oscars. It was just, but it always is. It's just like, here's the actors, here's this.
It should be the best, though. It should be, with so many creative people at hand. The writing, and God forgive me, I'm not trying to insult anyone personally here, because award shows are very hard. Writing comedy for people that you do not work with regularly.
Hosting is hard.
Very hard. But the writing was abysmal. I felt like every single bit fell flat. To the point where at one point, Timothée Chalamet was like, yeah, we should have rehearsed this. I'm thinking you should have rehearsed the whole thing. Like, it's obvious, no, you're all in the room for 5 minutes and no one's seen any of this. Just was not good.
Well, and at one point, the one guy read playback. The people from Menorah.
I think he was trying to tell
that wasn't a joke.
Are you sure?
No,
it was Kumail Nanjiani.
I think that one was real. I think that one was real. And then Kumail was like, said it after to be a joke. But the kid from Menorah, the boy, do you know what I mean? Like the one that's like she gets married to, he said it and it was real. I don't think he was joking because she then like laughed in his face.
She is so beautiful, Mikey Madison, by the way. Like, I hope she's got a long career ahead of her.
I knew you were going to come here and say that because I agree with
you.
I'm so into her.
And if you've seen Anora and then you hear her speak in real life, it's a holy shit moment. Because I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, I think I have, but like the whole time I watched Anora, I'm like, this woman's from Brighton Beach. There's no way she speaks and acts like this.
Yeah, like we're in her real house right now, like it's in this scene.
Not so. So it's also great that we're going into the Oscars with a bit of a nail biter because so many of these awards are always already cut and dry. But it really is a contest between Demi Moore and Mikey Madison, unless they cancel each other out and Carla Sofia Gascon becomes the winner by default, in which all hell will break loose.
Well, when do they have to vote?
It's
is
done.
The question.
It's done. It finished about 10 days ago because they need like 2 weeks to count the ballots. But it's crazy because Mikey Madison won Best Actress at the BAFTAs and Demi won at SAGs and Anora won at the DGA and the W. So it really is sort of, at least some of these awards are up in the air.
No, I like that though. I don't want it to be like, yeah, we know they're going to win, of course, blah, blah. Like I like that we don't really know who the front runner is anymore.
Look, Timothée Chalamet won the SAG Award for A Complete Unknown, which sort of throws doubt on whether or not Adrian Brody's going to win.
How about that speech? Did you see that?
Yeah, I low-key loved it. Like, I know people are giving him shit.
I know, I know I shouldn't like it, but I kind of was like, yeah, you know what? He's like, I want to be a really good actor.
That's all it was. He's like, I want to be the best. I follow Brando. I follow Viola Davis, which I was like, this is great. And he even said, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but I just want to be the best. So he's not yet 30 years old. He appears and acts younger to me, but he's definitely like a free-spirited, he seems like a free-spirited, kind, fun, enthusiastic person. And it's nice to see someone in Hollywood who's still like a bit of a numbnuts in that way, where they're still a human being. And I loved his speech. I thought like him saying he wants to be the best at something is great. If like you backlash something like that, I don't know, that's your own unhappiness. That's you being the best at being an asshole, sir.
And also like, you know what? He's not like punch and pop. Like when Justin Bieber was like, in this part of his career, he was like making his bodyguards like carry him up the Great Wall of China. Remember that? And like when he was like punching paparazzi, like this is like his time right now to like be a little prick. And he's like not. Like he's actually like, no, I like really worked really hard on this movie and like thank you for nominating. You know what I mean? He was like actually very earnest and like not a douchebag. And like he has every right to be a humongous prick right now, and he isn't. People
were giving him shit because he said this movie represented 5.5 years of my life. And people are giving him shit because he's made many other movies during that time. And they thought he was like posturing that which he wasn't doing. I mean, he's known about the project for 5 years. And that's how long it took him to perfect someone's singing voice and also learn how to actually play guitar, you know? So fuck you if you didn't like his speech.
People are rude. People don't know what they're
I sound like Don Lemon, but you know what? I'm not a journalist. I'm just a faggot with a phone.
Oh, God.
Right, well,
Dominick.
So the other big news for us this week was the full trailer for the Natalia Grace scripted series dropping. And
I didn't see it yet. Haven't seen it yet.
Ellen Pompeo, in her first big role after Grace, dominates this. And many people are commenting on the actress who is playing Natalia Grace in the series. I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm always afraid of saying the wrong thing, but she is obviously someone that has physical challenges, as does Natalia Grace. I don't know what her acting history is, but the whole trailer was just jarring enough without crossing the line for me to say, I will have this memorized from tip to tail. Like it's
yeah, sure. Sure. Okay. I like
It
that.
wet my fucking whistle, period. Like it's
I'm
gonna.
feeling good.
I need you to watch it as soon as we're done recording this, and then it's really good. It's really good. We don't want to end a Pre-Fixe without checking in with the Duchess of Schmuckers, because this is, of course, we're in peak Schmuckers territory with a brand about to be released. Well, apparently there is a city in Spain whose logo is almost identical to the one that Megan and her team have designed for her brand As Ever. So they're thinking of suing her. There's also, because the brand name As Ever was assigned to some other shit, there are many things that she can't sell under the brand As Ever. Like, she'll never be able to sell clothing under the As Ever brand because someone else already does. So again,
this is again the problem, just like Netflix, where I'm like, you could have Googled this. You have whole teams of people that do branding that would be able to tell you this in the beginning. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. It's always so funny.
Like, why would she want to do that as her brand if she can't sell clothing? She needs to be able to sell an As Ever hat. Hello?
Yeah,
like, is this thing on?
It's so funny with all these people. It's like in my long history being a television producer, no offense to any of my employers, but I have always worked at places that were literally terrified of litigation. And these things just wouldn't. I can't tell you how many times we've waited months for title clearance on something, because that's an actual process. Like when you're naming a television show, for people who don't know, you've got to call like whoever it is, the board of television titles. But you've got to, like, if you're going to register for something,
some people,
you've got to do like extensive research that you're not cross branding or anything like that. So how this happens, I don't understand how that happens, because I've seen people come to tears when titles that they want can't be used because there was a television show that ran for 2 episodes 20 years ago. So you can't call your television show or your brand that name anymore.
And I mean, this is all just proof that she is not the business person that she purports herself to be. Is that a word? Like, or at least, fashions herself, and she loves having this drama. She loves it. I'm convinced. She loves that it's like, oh, she redid her thing and now blah, 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 and this and that, and there's all these problems, and she loves the like mishigas of like all of this.
Yeah.
Do you know what am I wrong?
No. She exists in that zone. Like, she only does all these projects knowing people are going to come at her, because it's all unnecessary. She doesn't need to do anything. She doesn't need to do anything.
The fact that she has a logo and it is similar to some city, or what was it?
In Spain.
Commonwealth or something in Spain, like whatever it was, like an area. Like, that's something that you pay someone a lot of money to tell you before you make it your logo.
And I gotta say, it's not even a lot of money. It's just like you pay a little bit of money to a service that does all this shit for you. And it just occurs to me now.
And now AI.
Well, this Spain crossover. This is her and Ilaria marrying each other pop culturally.
Their meeting. The meeting of the minds should be happening here with them.
I only thought about Schmuckers the entire time I watched the Baldwins. Every time I heard Ilaria speak, I heard Meghan Markle.
I'm not going to lie to you. No, I don't agree, because I feel that Ilaria's voice is so annoying and like helium. Okay, on GarageBand, there is a filter that you can put everything through. And I used to do this in high school all the time, and it's called helium breath. And it makes you sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. She has that voice. Like if we ran our voices through that, it would sound like Hilaria.
On the a la carte today, we're going to be talking about Diddy's lawyer stepping down, which is the rut-row of all rut-rows. A$AP Rocky being set free, no doubt because Rihanna finally showed up to his trial. And the jury was like, that's what I wanted. You're free to go.
She held up a little sign that was like, I will release the album if you guys acquit him of this crime.
Amazon now owns James Bond. Millions of fans are very concerned. And Lester Holt has left NBC News. I love Lester Holt. He's just an old standby.
I know. What's he going to do? We're going to talk about
who knows? And I can't wait to talk about this, because we talked about it briefly in the group chat. I am a Law and Order stan, as most of you know.
Oh, yeah.
Erica Jane appeared on the very first episode of Law and Order. Who the fuck knew this? other than Erica Jane. But apparently the people I spoke about with, a lot of people knew. I was floored.
I did know, but she doesn't capitalize on it enough. But yeah, we will talk about this. Also, did you love those that soap moment package at the SAG Awards where it was all these A-list celebrities that started on soaps?
I loved that.
I was like, this is Dominick coded.
That's my new podcast. Yes, I'll be talking about that on whatever this new podcast is we do about nighttime soaps. It's got to come up. One thing I wanted to say for the end that belongs on the main show and not in the a la carte, because it brings so many of our worlds together. In a sign that maybe all is not lost, and maybe we're not spiraling out of control, Lindsay Lohan's father Michael was arrested on battery charges, and I just think, you know what? Some things are still the same. Thank you, God. Some things are still the same. You can rest easy. The world hasn't changed so much. He hit that woman, Kate Major. He flipped her over in a chair, apparently.
Jesus Christ.
His current wife or his ex-wife, whoever she is. Violence is not funny, but these are both lunatics, as we both know. No one deserves anything, but
lock him up and throw away the key, Dominic, is what I have to say about that. Like, he does not. He's been proving to us since 2007 that he's a menace to society, and now it's really just right there in writing, isn't it?
But those were simpler times. I mean, if we could, if we could have less stressful times, and occasionally Michael Lohan beat somebody up, I'll take that. I'll take that over our current state of affairs.
Yeah, sure.
We don't condone violence, but I don't know. It's just Michael Lohan. How hard could he possibly hit? Come on.
No, I think he could. No, I think it's...
You do?
Dominic, I must say that you're wrong here, and I think he's a monster.
I want to put my money where my mouth is. Michael Lohan, when you are released from that holding cell, I am fine to have a slap contest with you. Let's do this. I bet I could knock him unconscious with a soap opera slap. I bet I could. I bet I could get Lindsay to bankroll the competition, too. I bet it would take one phone call.
1,000,000%. And she'd put all her money on you, is what she would do.
Christopher, please tell the listeners who we are fixing today.
We will be fixing Miss Jessica Biel herself, Mrs. Timberlake, or as you will hear on this episode with one of our pod mothers, Ms. Kate Casey herself, Ms. Bimberlake.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
After these vital messages.
Dominic, one of our podcast mothers is here to grace us with her presence, and we are graced. It's Kate Casey from Reality Life with Kate Casey. Welcome. Mother.
So thrilled to see you. The mother. I've got 5 already.
It's not often that one of our actual queens is here.
Yeah.
One of our actual birthers. Yes.
Thank you.
Always lovely to have you.
Lord knows I've given birth, so
yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you're very good. Yeah.
It's like a pastime of yours.
Or in the early days when people asked me, what is your housewife's tagline? I could never think of anything. I said one time, I may not be thin, but the lining of my uterus is. There you go.
Oh, God.
It's sort of like being a drag mother. I feel like we're not the only podcasters that count you as some sort of the top of a family tree. I feel like you've inspired other people as well.
Oh, yeah.
I hope so. That would be very nice.
So really, are we House of Casey? House of Devontes? What are we? Or are we like torn between them?
Yeah, for real.
We're a lesbian couple who will claim you both.
I love that.
Yeah. Cavantes.
Daisy. There's always a worse one.
DeVasey. Yeah.
No, when you combine names, there's always like a fun drag one and then the bad one. And the bad one here is Daisy. Yeah, we can't do that.
Well, I also think if we were a lesbian couple, we would be the meanest moms.
Oh, yeah. You already are, so it's fine.
Well,
Dominic, if you saw the way this woman spoke to her children, you would run screaming.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I'm very tough.
She's a colonel.
Do they give it back to you?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I'm a benevolent dictator.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then you're not ready to have Chris and I as children, because I can tell you right now, like, we'll run you ragged.
Well, sometimes they, like my son in particular, I only have one boy, and he gets amused. Like, he was getting out of the car today. I drove him to school. And I said, this school looks like it could be in movies or TV shows. Like, everyone's cute and I don't know, they look cool. And he goes, I don't know if everybody's cool and cute. I go, well, you know who is? And he turns to me and he starts laughing. I go, the two of us are.
Oh,
because he's always like, Mom, you're so like confident. But when he got a 6th grade graduation, that was the award he got. He was most confident. And I thought, you know what? If that's something my kids have, I want its confidence.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Good for Jack.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of kids, speaking of adult children, actually.
Yes.
We're talking about Jessica Biel.
You will not
Jessica
feel
Biel.
it. You will not feel it.
I've been waiting all week to say this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The struggle is Biel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
I like
Bye
it.
to both of you.
We begin each broadcast with the middle name game. As you know, Kate, for you new listeners, that's where we ask Christopher and our guests if they can guess the middle name of the person we're trying to fix. This week, we are fixing Jessica Biel Timberlake. Jessica and Biel are her biological first and last names. She is 42 years of age. She was born March 3rd, 1982 in, I don't know if it's pronounced Ely or Eli, Minnesota.
Oh.
She is a Pisces. What is Jessica Biel Timberlake's middle name?
Okay, I'm going to say 2 things. One, if she was born in 1982, specifically in Minnesota, and her first name is Jessica, all bets are on that her middle name is Anne. And number 2, she should have made her married name Jessica B' Timberlake. But Timberlake.
But Timberlake.
Jesus.
Are you okay?
Francesca Christ.
We would know.
It's not too late. She can still do it.
Bimberlake.
Ooh.
Okay, my guess is Tandy.
What?
Jessica
Tandy Timberlake.
Jessica
Biel?
Tandy Biel Timberlake.
So your theory is that her Minnesota parents were that big of a fan of the acting styles of Jessica Tandy that they wanted a name. Interesting.
I just
Well,
know that
she
you
was a
you talk
child
about her so
actress.
much, but you always talk about Jessica Tandy. So I feel like you always quote her, Dominic. So I think I'm just going
I
with
do
Tandy.
use Jessica Tandy a lot. Well, I will tell you it is not Tandy, and a very good guess. It is not Anne. It is something actually
Marie.
It's
even
Marie,
more
isn't it?
even more Jessica Biel-y than that.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Claire. Jessica
Oh.
Claire
Oh.
Biel
She should have been
JCB.
Claire.
Timberlake.
She should have been Claire. They messed up on that one. Sorry.
Yeah, Claire Biel is a
much
star.
much more of a star. Jessica
Claire
Biel.
Jessica
Timberlake. Yeah,
No.
for sure.
Claire Bimberlake is a star. Jessica
Yeah.
Biel is Justin Timberlake's wife.
Or
is what
Claire but Timberlake. She could have a bag line or be a movie star. It's either one or the other. But Jessica Biel just runs the general store.
Does anyone call her Jess? I'm wondering.
I'm sure. Or Jessie. She seemed like a tomboy. She's probably like a Jessie.
Yeah, she does have that tomboy turned into a supermodel
for sure
vibe.
I did see a television clip about 77 years ago where she was part of a group of kids that lived in an apartment complex where they were all trying to be child stars, and they would all hang out pre-cell phones and play volleyball. And I feel like that was the vibe. She was like, I'm going to be a star, but I'm a tomboy, so I don't want to be dressed up like a John Bonet. I can play volleyball with the boys, and I'll probably get a star, opportunity playing a girl on a soccer team.
So Seventh Heaven, where we all know her from, although she did do some stuff a little bit before. Oh, no, I'm actually wrong. There's a film called It's a Digital World, a short film, which seems to be something that she might have done right before. But her first actual credit, other than that, is Seventh Heaven, where she was from 96 to 2003.
But by the way, good for her. That's very hard to get a job. That's like a reoccurring kind of situation. And that's a long time. And I get the sense that she really liked everyone on the show. Caveat that with, we found out the father had some situations.
Yes,
on the
Stephen
side.
Collins. He was like an abuser of children or something, was he not?
Correct. Yeah. But he was playing a preacher on the show, which was quite a doozy.
What a surprise, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And by all accounts, like before this information came out, a pretty well-liked and respected sort of milquetoast kind of dude, which is always the one who does that, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why it's better to be hated.
Always.
Because
better to be
people
the
who hate
villain.
you are always up your ass, so they know you're not abusing children.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
they have low expectations of you. If you're going to make a show where you're the preacher and you have this perfect family, the people will always have very high expectations of you and the show and everything else.
So the only other thing that I remember her from that was major was when the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out in 2003. I love the original. I flocked to that, and she was one of the screaming teens in that movie. And that movie was
It was big.
I mean, we're going back, but it was big at the time for sure. Sort of reintroducing a lot of horror reboots. That was one of the first. And she's done stuff. I mean, she's definitely like, if you look at her filmography, she pops in and out of like, she was in New Year's Eve and the A-Team and Valentine's Day, the Total Recall reboot, Blade Trinity. Like it was just a bunch of, she's been pretty utilitarian, as it were, if not automatic leading lady. And I have to say,
oh my God.
this
She
is
was
terrible.
in Elizabethtown. Do you remember that movie?
I do.
I don't.
If you, Dominic, if you saw the cover of it, you would be like, oh my God, yes, this.
Yeah.
It's Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst.
That's not one of his greatest movies or screenplays.
No, but
it's a movie.
The picture of, yeah, anyway. Continue. Wait, what were you going to say about Jessica Biel? I completely interrupted you.
I was going to say that I don't like saying this and I don't want hate mail. I mean, I do, but I don't like actually want it. It'll just be fun to read, including your names on this podcast. But it is sort of a thing that she married someone more famous and then that becomes the thing. A little bit like a recent Fixerella, Jennifer Garner, where it was sort of like taking care of a juvenile famous husband became their primary job to the public. And so she just sort of fell off the map to me after she married. They were married in, I want to say 2012. Yes, they got married on October 19th, 2012. They'd been dating since 2007. They have 2 sons.
Well, I can offer a little bit of backstory on this because I am somebody who consumed celebrity tabloids, blogs, etc. for years and years and years and years. Similar to Jennifer Garner, the narrative was always like, Jessica Biel is so obsessed with Justin Timberlake, but he's a serial cheater. And then there were rumors that like, she was like desperate to marry him and would do anything. And like he could literally
she liked NSYNC.
Do anything for him. And she would never break up with him. And then there was like, there would be a breakups. And did she arrange like a photo opportunity where she could be photographed with him? And then there were questions of, because of course it's the entertainment industry, like, is this a strategic relationship and then marriage? Because they don't seem to have any chemistry to the public. So I think even though they've been married all these years and they have 2 children, I think there's still people that are like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
But it could be because she's not the most open person. She seems sort of like the person that you'd meet at the Christmas party and they seem lovely, but you have no idea what they do for a living, where they're from, and they didn't ask you one question about yourself, and they would not partake in beer pong because they got to leave because they have to pick somebody up at the train station.
And never forget also Kate, we were talking about it the other day, the People magazine cover of their wedding.
That I have a big problem with because he finally proposed and the wedding happened. And when the cover came out, it is him karate chopping over her head. She's got a pink dress on. She's sort of like, almost looks like she's squatting, if not sitting. But
like she's sitting and he's like jumping in the air, like all crazy, like I'm a pop star.
Yes, that was and you know that they go to the couple and they're like, which couple or which picture do you want the most? Or can we have a picture? And it was the cover of Us magazine. And I believe maybe it could have been People, but that was the cover. And the outrage in the celebrity gossip, like blog sphere, everyone was just enraged. Like yet again, everything was made about him. Like if they ever were doing any interview together, it was all about him. Like she just kind of sat in the background. So I think people have always just been very confused why they're together.
Well, I think it's very simple. It's exactly what you said, Dominic, is that like he's a child. I mean, he's still like faux shiz, but just as an adult man, right? Like faux shiz is his DNA, right? Like that's still him. Like even today, that's him. You know what I mean? Like trying to be like a white rapper, kind of.
And painfully. I mean, in the past couple of years, he's getting mocked for it. Like when he's dancing with those sneakers and those cargo pants on stage.
Yes.
He's a meme.
But I feel like I have to come clean about something.
What?
Rock Your Body.
If you're about to announce that you fucked Justin Timberlake, I'm going to leave this house.
No, it's worse. Rock Your Body was my wedding song.
Oh, I knew this already. No, I knew this already.
Yeah.
Dominick's not okay. Dominick's not okay.
I don't know. I just put my hat on backwards too, and I feel like I look like Joey Fatone
You kind of do a little bit.
moment.
That's another movie role that you can absolutely take if you want it.
The Joey Fatone story.
That's what I was thinking when we were just talking about Jessica Biel loving NSYNC. She's like, I have to marry him. And Chris Kirkpatrick is out of the question.
Oh, yes.
Horrible.
Yes.
So recently, Justin Timberlake turned 44. Did you guys hear about this?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Jessica Biel went on Instagram.
It was literally like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Jessica Biel went on Instagram and posted a picture of her and Justin and wrote the following quote: "Another year to make memories that I keep sacred in my heart. Another year of joy and challenges being a parent with you. Another year together being curious and creative in the world.
God.
Another year growing and evolving and sometimes devolving with you.
When you get a
Another
DUI,
year laughing about it all."
When you get a DUI at the American Hotel in Sag Harbor.
Right, or you get cheating on me or holding your co-star's hand or making out with her in a dive bar. Like, that's all the devolving stuff.
Yeah.
Very much. That DUI is Ben Affleck wasted eating Dunkin' Donuts in the back of Jennifer Garner's car. Like, it's very, very that.
Well, and like the thing that's funny is like, one, sorry to go back to their wedding pictures, but Kate, you are so right. It's like, he's like, wow, look at me. And she's like, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm just attending this photo that he's jumping in the air for.
Correct.
And like, which is fine, but it's like, when he's getting a DUI, when all this is happening, do you remember that like they then made her do all these like horrible, like pulling a Kate Middleton where they're like, okay, you have to do this weird story where you say like, you love to eat pizza in the shower. Remember? Like,
yes.
And she has to try to quell the press about him like almost getting arrested for this DUI. She had to like put out all these stories about how she like pees with the door open. That wasn't one of them, but it was like something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
but was that because
was
it in conjunction with the television project, or they just were like, take her out of the basement and let's make her act like
they were like, we just like simply need to give the press something else so that they don't report another thing about him. Like she is his like sacrificial lamb. Like
she sure is. Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I believe that they live in Montana and they just ski all day. Like they don't live in LA. They're
which is like fun
far
for me.
away.
I think that's nice.
No, that's good for them because this could have been way worse.
Like,
I think
does she ever see another human being other than
Probably
her children
not.
and him? Like maybe not.
Glenn Close lives in Montana as well. I wonder if they live in the same community.
I think they live in Yellowstone Club.
God.
Huh.
Which is like mega money.
Yeah, I like nice.
You know, you get a feeling as a pop culture observer with women in general. And I'm very guilty of this, and people do send me hate mail about it, and it's nothing personal, but sometimes when someone was A-list and isn't A-list for a long time, I forget that people are raising children. There are some celebrities that actually raise the children on their own. And this happened with Jennifer Garner. It's happened with other people that we've spoken about where we're like, oh, these are people who seem to us to be non-nanny people, if you want to call them that. Like, I think Jennifer Garner is one of them. Jessica Biel's probably one as well, who fell out. But there's still something, I don't know what it is, where you're just raising an eyebrow about their marriage and like how good it is for her to be in that relationship, given everything we know about Justin Timberlake. Like, for an example, I don't feel that way about Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling. Like, I feel like they are rock solid. And when she comes out and says hi once every 10 years or so, she's basically like, still here, still good, still none of your fucking business. Bye-bye. And then goes back and does her shit. Yeah. I just don't feel that way about Jessica Biel
I don't either.
And Bimberlake. I just don't.
Bimberlake is a thing.
I think it too. Well, I guess Eva and Ryan are I feel like they have friends in the biz. I don't know if Jessica Biel and Justin Timberlake have friends in the biz. Like, are their friends like
He
you know,
does. I mean,
the
he's
other
a bro, isn't he?
the other mom, I think he's friends with Jimmy Fallon, but
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
I
brother.
don't know who else.
brother.
You know,
No,
like,
I think she's like an isolated person, which I don't like. Or she's just like
You don't
friends
like
with like
that
her.
she's isolated?
I don't like that she's isolated like from the world.
mhm.
Because here's the other thing is that like she has done The Sinner, which she was the executive producer of,
Okay.
like which was like 2017, not that long ago.
Right.
And then she did Candy, where she played Candy Montgomery. That was like, didn't she kill her husband or something?
I don't know who that
yeah,
is. but
sometimes
it
she's
sounds
got roles
familiar.
where she's like pulling a Charlize and she looks like a haggard monster.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
people liked it. Like it did well. It was on Hulu. Like she's not acting. Do you know what I mean? Like she's
Right.
doing, and like Melanie Linsky's in it. I mean, of course, her husband has to be in it because like, ew. It's not like a nothing thing.
Mhm.
So I'm very, like she is doing projects. She doesn't like, she
Right.
doesn't not want to be famous.
Right.
Which is the thing. And then remember, she didn't go to once he had the DUI, she didn't go to the
Right.
Met Gala. But remember, she chopped off all of her hair. And we were all
Mhm.
like, oh, they're divorcing. We were like, this is divorce central.
She does look
And
good with
then
short hair. One of the
she
few.
looks
She's
incredible.
beautiful. Yes.
Beautiful.
And these pictures on her Instagram are like gorgeous. Like
Mhm.
she's like, she could leave him tomorrow and be a supermodel and we would all be like obsessed with her.
She's got great skin, very pretty woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there was a period of time too where she had a restaurant in Santa Monica. It was like where kids could go, but she was ridiculed for it because the menu sucked and it was small. And she would have these events where it'd be like Tori Spelling and mom influencers would show up. So I feel like she's got a desire to have ancillary things, but it always misses the mark.
Mm.
Yeah, like, and she's trying to be like a mommy. She's trying to do like a Jessica Alba situation or like a Jennifer Garner, and it's just not in the cards for her.
I don't think it's in the cards for her. But to your point, maybe she's like an introverted person who, you know, someone might write us and go, you know what, we both hit the slopes every week, and she's just totally happy with these two little boys like skiing all day. But it's just hard to imagine if you've been somebody who has pursued opportunities in a business that's totally relentless for all this time to just be okay with living in Montana with a guy who has to be the center of attention all the time and just got a DUI and totally embarrassed you and everybody.
Yeah. And made you do a story about how you like eat pizza in the shower alone.
Or like pee with the door open.
Yeah. Also, are we aware that she put out a book called A Kid's Book About Periods?
I was
No.
not.
Where it says, this is May 14th of 2024. Jessica Biel talks to her sons about her period. She wants more people to do the same. Which, like,
well, I mean, we all do that.
No, like,
by the way, I don't need a book
yeah.
about it. Like,
Yeah,
there
sure.
are things that parents do with boys. Like, it's actually much better to bring in someone with a bunch of like we do this here where, and this is like throughout the country, where you have groups of boys meet with someone with the dads the first year, and they talk about male anatomy, and then the next year they talk about female anatomy, but you do it with your moms. Like, you know, it's not like boys are never spoken to about periods.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if you need a book because the boys don't read books.
Sure.
Sorry, we live in
No.
2025. They don't read the book. You make a TikTok
Yeah.
video about it, and now we're talking.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah. I will say I'm like, I get it. I'm like, okay. But like she is doing stuff. That's the thing. She's not like, I don't want to do anything, like go away, I'm raising my children. Like she is putting stuff out once a year. She's doing something, some project.
That
that's
feels
like,
a little deliberately celebrity niche-y to me rather than like a passion project. You know,
Sure.
like everyone's
Yeah.
always trying to do
Mhm.
something for kids and figure out like, oh, no one's done this for them before. So let me talk about my
You know what? You're
what did my
right,
grandmother
Dominic.
call it? Momensies. Let me talk about momensies with the kids. Sure.
It does, now that you say it, it does seem very random. She's tried to open the restaurant where kids can come and enjoy it, and then later on, it's about her period.
Mm.
Yeah, it is strange.
If I wasn't so stoned, I would much quicker think of jokes about having a period at that restaurant and combining everything. But
you know
I
what
can't. I'm a
happened
little
when I
sick.
was when I was growing up? When you got your period, your friends would go, "Plug it in, plug it in."
oh my God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake used to have a restaurant as well in New York. It was like a New Orleans Cajun restaurant.
That's right.
brother.
And he did it with his friend from childhood. And then they had a jean line. And William Rast, if I remember correctly. I wonder if that's still, Oh, and then that guy was married to a woman who then had a relationship with Kristen Carvalari's ex, Jay Cutler, who played professional football.
Interesting.
Yes.
Fun story. I only ate at that restaurant twice. One time I ate there in person and vowed I would never do it again. But the food was very good. Just the clientele was not my cup of tea. Okay. It was exactly who you would think would eat at a Justin Timberlake themed New Orleans restaurant.
Oh,
like,
sure.
People.
Don't move past that. What were they? Give me like an example. What were they? Are we talking like total denim outfits with like a bandana like around their head?
Full Canadian tuxedos, bandanas on the forehead, out of the back pocket.
long
denim vests with no shirts underneath and also no muscles on the arm. Like I love a denim vest if you are like, if you look like
a bodybuilder.
Yeah. But like a skinny, fat angel hair pasta arm. Right.
No, thank you.
Kate, how dare you?
Now, are we talking like
fat angel hair pasta arm?
Are we talking about like an ankle boot, silver, like cowboy boot? Or are we talking a knee-high with gems on it, like a denim
all of the above. Just the word gems in general.
Okay. Okay, good.
It's like anti-style. Like we say rhinestone where I'm from. That's as elegant as it's gonna get. But when you say gems, it's all over with.
Hilarious.
Definitely gems. Anyway, the food was good, so I ordered it for takeout one other time, and.
Was it like
a few weeks later?
Like a rib, like you're kind of chewing as you leave the place, or
it was like hush puppies, fried chicken, all the faves, the faves.
Speaking of food, I found the eating in the shower thing. Jessica Biel finds it deeply satisfying to eat in the shower. I want to start a movement. This is on people. She said, guys, thanks for all these questions about shower eating. I'm just so thrilled everyone is so interested. I really want to start a movement, a shower eating movement, Biel said. I think for people who are multitasking, it's just going to be a relief in so many ways.
Can we talk about for just a second other useless movements?
Yeah, but we got to go back to that though.
Other useless movements would be like, everybody needs to get like a lawnmower, like a push lawnmower for their yard so we can be at one with nature. Like, why do we need that? Why do we need to eat in a shower? Dumb.
We don't.
I have to say that this is the dumbest fucking idea I have ever heard anyone actually say.
Seriously.
In my limited time here on our planet. Eating, like if you're so busy that you have to eat while you're bathing, end it. Like end it. I don't mean take your life. I mean just like go somewhere where that doesn't have to happen. Get a trailer and leave civilization because you're doing it wrong if you have to eat in the shower.
Right.
She's doing this because that's the only place where she can get any peace from not only her children, but also Justin.
Oh my God.
She's like, if I sit down to eat a meal, like I can't, my kids are being annoying. And then my husband, who is my first child, is being faux shiz or like drunk somewhere.
Or do you think he's the kind of husband that comes in while she's taking a shower and goes to the bathroom? Like doesn't give her a minute to herself?
Probably.
Hi, ladies. I'm Jessica Biel. Do you have a husband whose idea of parenting is singing Dick in a Box to your two already out of control sons? Do you find you're screaming at the three of them so often that you forget to eat? Well, here's a new invention. It's a straw-based pouch where you suck your liquefied meal out while you're washing your nethers.
And it's attached to soap on a rope.
Right? Having your menses? No problem. That's in the next book. That's also something I do.
Do you think she's the kind of mother, and when I say that, I mean both of them, are they currently preparing their two sons to be in a boy band, or they're preparing them to go camping every other weekend?
I'm going to lean towards camping because I believe that's probably where Jessica puts her foot down. I bet she's got a one douchebag per household policy because she's married to a pretty big one.
I don't want her to be, oh God, there's so many pictures of her eating in the shower.
Ew. Did they have a photo shoot of her in a bathroom eating?
It's like her taking her own pictures while she's in the shower and like eating something with the fork and spoon. She took pictures of herself eating in the shower. Yes. The shower head is in the background.
That's terrible.
She's a prisoner in her own home.
Wow. I mean, that is the moment where you go, where did my career go wrong? I'm now taking a picture of myself in the shower eating pizza.
Bianca Sensori level captive like moment
That's
there.
a
Like if she's
captive
gonna
moment.
eat in the
Yep.
now, is it
Mhm.
a walk-in shower? I don't have the visuals, or is it like a normal tub like in my
Or
apartment?
like a tub.
No,
with
it's like a
with
no,
like
it's a nice one.
Oh,
It's
it's a nice
nice.
one. Okay,
It's
because I was gonna
nice.
say
It's
if it's
nice.
like the white tub with the curtain, things are really like dire straits.
No,
is there like a table and chair in there?
I don't know,
Or
but
Are there
weirdly,
picture
like,
frames on the credenza?
is it a hammam? I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Candles lit?
It is like I only see the shower head, but like it looks legit.
Oh.
We're gonna have to that might be part of my pitch.
What?
Oh. It's a
I didn't even know.
bathroom line.
Is it your pitch, or are we doing?
No.
Is that going to be the next merch we do?
I don't know. I'm just thinking because there's a part of that that's funny that she can capitalize on if she wants to. But like, this is the thing. She like does all this stuff, but none of it like takes off. Like her book about periods didn't take off.
Because it's all this celeb niche stuff. It's like
Well,
someone looking for an unexploited area and like, there's one, let's do it.
Yeah.
As the mother of a seventh grade boy, no one's clamoring to buy a book about how to talk to your son about your period.
Yeah.
No.
And again, she's put on this list because she's like doing all these weird tabloid articles to like have to deflect from her husband's DUI.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
she has to come and clean up his mess, very much like Jennifer Garner and Benny.
Isn't that terrible?
Mhm.
It's so sad. It's like pathetic, actually. And then she does this, and then what does he do? He then goes on SNL and does this weird song. Do you know what I mean?
Right. He may have wanted to marry her because she almost like serves as a base.
Yes.
Like you're like a headquarter where I can drop in every once in a while, and we've got these two kids, and I can have the
like
family.
cause mayhem.
But
and
then I'll
leave.
dip out, and then I'll go on a trip to Vegas with the dudes from William Rast or wherever. I don't know. She may serve as a base.
With Lance
Mhm.
and Joey. And
They are really,
JC.
they're like a B+ Ben Affleck and Jen Garner. I mean, that's really what they are.
Yeah.
Like if he gets another DUI, what does like whoever his Sue Mengers does she call Jessica, red alert. You got to start promoting something called topless fly fishing on Instagram. Take out your tits and get out there. Hurry.
She's like, you have to go get a colonoscopy and like be eating during it. She's like,
At home colonoscopies done in the shower while you are eating and having your period. I'm Jessica Biel and I'm a mogul. Thank you. Good night.
Oh my God.
it's
That's
like
it.
so bad.
We've just helped her. That's the pitch. We're done. Kate, thanks for coming. Chris, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh God.
I think the first step for her is to really change her name to Claire Timberlake. Yeah.
Claire Bimberlake.
And then maybe take a role as like a roller skating assassin. Just totally change it up.
But she's not saying, by the way, Bimberlake. Kate is saying B apostrophe
Yes.
Timberlake.
I know.
Like two letters that don't belong to like de Blasio. It's like that. Like it's not.
Yeah.
Oh God.
This is sort of a tough one.
Yeah,
and
this
it's
is hard.
not-
This is hard.
Do you have one already?
Kind of.
Okay. I feel like I know like in general what she should do, but I need to pinpoint it a little bit. I need to like, All right, I have something.
Okay. Jessica, Claire, Biel, Bimberlake, Timberlake.
But Timberlake.
Timberlake. We're at a crossroads. She doesn't want to be like, she tried to be like an actor again and like do shit and like no one cared. You know what I mean? Mainly because she's again isolated from the world and like she's not making splashes.
Right.
And she's tried multiple times. So I don't want, like, there's a part where it's like, give her this great role. It's like, no. I want to go with the synergy of the like eating in the shower thing because it's so ridiculous that it's like you can make this into something really funny. And I would like for her to go on Shark Tank with an invention of like a table and chairs that you can like set up of like how to eat in the shower.
Interesting.
And even if it's like a joke, like, when like the Masked Singer, whenever they have people on for like one episode on purpose, just to have them on for one episode, like Wendy Williams and Countess Luann. Or when it's like the people that are like, remember when the Golden Bachelorette, when it was like Jimmy Kimmel's mom was like one of the contestants, and like obviously it was a joke. I want her to go on and like pitch it to them and have them like laugh at it.
Yeah.
And then I want her to actually become a shark on Shark Tank.
Ooh.
She's done all these like little, I wrote a book, I did this, I did that. She's
I know,
a this,
but none
she's
of
a
them
that.
were like Barbara Corcoran level. They'd
Yeah,
be like,
sure.
fun, but no, you're
Sure,
not for
but
us.
anymore, does it matter?
Yes,
And
I think it does.
I want her to go on Shark Tank and I want her to be a shark. And I want like these really weird ideas that everyone's like, what the hell is this? She's like, I'm down. And then they like get a deal.
Okay.
And that is my pitch for her. Because I think that's funny. It puts her in front of people on ABC. And it gives her like something to do that has nothing to do with Justin at all. And that's my pitch.
I do insist that she keep along with this entrepreneurial spirit of hers. Like, I don't think she's found the right thing, but I think she needs to stay separate from him. I do feel like they're going to split up, and I want to make sure that she's got her own thing going on. The period book, this eating in the shower thing. Let me tell you something. That's a cry for help. That's like, someone needs to give me direction because I'm making you think that I logically think eating in the shower is a fucking opportunity. It's not. She needs somebody, not Ryan Murphy. She needs someone to like remind the world that she's here and like the best in something good that can also, I've got it. She needs to have the lead role in season 4 of White Lotus. And she needs to, something about her character. She needs to go into
Kill her husband.
caftans or resort wear or something along those lines. I know it's very stereotypical and feminine, blah, blah, blah. That's where I see her. I see her in that sort of space. She could even, take advantage. I know we were joking before about topless fly fishing, but if they live in Montana, there's got to be something rough and tumble about her that would be more organic than the stuff she's thought of now. But something, I can't pinpoint it, but I do think she should be on White Lotus. And I think that would introduce her to the right audience that's going to elevate her, like we did to Jennifer Coolidge, like we're about to do to Parker Posey, who's already a superstar, but not to like my folks yet, but she will be now. You know what I mean? Like after season 3. And give it to just put her in there. She doesn't even need to be the lead. Just put her in like an Aubrey Plaza style, make her like the center of one of the stories. And that will introduce her really for the first time to a lot of people, because so many people even listening to this podcast don't know what the hell Seventh Heaven is. You know what I mean? They're like, they just know that she's Mrs. Timberlake.
What if you did like a White Lotus character where she's like the scorned, like doormat wife who has a very hot sexual situation going on with somebody in the hotel? So
with like a bellhop.
She's sort of like dismantling this idea of like, I am the scorned wife who will never stand up to my asshole husband. And I'm also a very sexual woman in her 40s who has gorgeous skin.
So like a deconstructed version of the real Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed. I don't know that. I think just her being cast there is the right thing, but I'm not opposed to that. As long as there's some sort of, I want her to be on Colbert talking about it and just saying like, while I was there, I was just like, I love these bathing suits. I want to make my own bathing suits or whatever. Just something along like she should be inspired by her White Lotus experience to do her next merch from that. Make it something a little easier to sell than a book about your period. Or I'm going to say this publicly, and I don't want Jessica Biel or her fans to be upset. Eating in the shower is fucking dumb. It's a dumb idea. Like
it is a dumb idea.
Any reason. I don't chew gum in the shower.
She's better than that.
No, again, it's her only solace that she has in her life. It's like her only time to enjoy her life is to like hide herself away in her bathroom when she turns the shower on so that everyone thinks that she's showering, but she's instead eating.
And I'm a fairly gross person behind closed doors, like very sort of like, I keep my place pretty tidy and clean, but I can be very teenage boy about shit. And I would never eat in the shower. It wouldn't even occur. Like I just wouldn't even bring food in there.
Well, I'm almost like, is she eating one bite and then with the left side, she smokes a cigarette? Like she takes a drag, takes a bite, takes a drag.
That's a horse of a different color. Yeah. I mean, I would love that.
Oh God!
Now, can you imagine if that's the product she from White Lotus? I started smoking for the role, and I thought not enough people smoke.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'd like it. I would be like, oh, I buy these.
People would start smoking cigarettes again
I know.
if they liked White Lotus enough. Anyway, that's my pitch. White Lotus with a merch tie-in that I can't name, but that seems like the sort of thing to put her like on the map. Let's get her a couple of supporting actress in a comedy. Let's see her at the SAG Awards.
No, I like the idea of like, yeah, I like the idea of like an ensemble. So she's not carrying it herself and being like, yeah.
I want her to be one of the actors that kicks off the SAG Awards that year when she's nominated for White Lotus.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Jessica Biel, and I'm
like you might remember me from Seventh Heaven, where I played a little girl like worrying about her virginity, and then I became a wife that was fucking every single pool attendant that was in the White Lotus. I'm Jessica Biel, and I'm an actor.
You might remember some of my work on Instagram when I was running interference from this asshole fucking up publicly. Whether it's whipping out Janet's tit or getting drunk and driving home in the very Uber-friendly Hamptons, I'm Jessica Biel, and I'm a fucking actor because of this idiot.
Yeah, no kidding. Acting all day long.
I bet Bruce Valanche wrote that whole thing down, and he's going to give it to her when he writes.
Is Bruce Valanche still with us?
Oh, yes. I don't think he still actively writes the award shows, but he's definitely still around.
I gotta miss him on Hollywood Squares.
It's so funny that you say that.
In a while, but yeah, he was great.
Have you seen the new Hollywood Squares?
I saw the commercial for it. Yeah,
it's rather funny. Honestly,
Yeah,
there are funny moments in there. I put Jessica Biel on that. I'm not adjusting my pitch, but put her on that.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Okay, Kate, what do you think? Who are you picking?
I'm going to pick Dominick because I can't stand the idea of people eating with a table and chairs in a bathroom. It's so fucking gross. I'm like, what?
I love that it's come down to that. She's really ruined it for everybody. I may not even shower tomorrow because.
And like, what if you didn't put the liner on in the shower so that it, like your turkey sandwich gets all wet?
Yeah, no, it's
like
disgusting.
when Aunt Edna, the dog pissed on the sandwiches in vacation. I don't know. I don't like it.
It's like a crime that she had to do this. Like he should be kissing her individual toes. That like. She like lowered herself to saying this to like diffuse all of his press and like bullshit. Oh, you know what it was? When was the DUI? Because I wonder if she had to do that because it was after Britney's memoir.
It was just last year, remember?
But this was January. I think it was to diffuse from the stuff about Britney's memoir. We're wrong. It was about whenever he made Britney get an abortion and all that shit, and then broke up with her and like sang a song to her.
Oh my word!
You know what?
That's even worse.
I have to say, I did feel bad about that period of time because I think that for two young performers, if Britney was pregnant, can you imagine all the horrible people around them that were like, you can't have a baby, our careers will be over, lots of money coming in.
Oh, sure.
And I feel bad that he got ripped on because I'm like, they were so young and I think people were so kind of just not fair about that.
No, but I still think he's a piece of shit. That was the right decision, in my opinion, because like, were not capable of raising a child at that level of fame and being minors, but the way that he went about it and then broke up with her and tried to pretend like it was her fault whenever he broke up with her, but he said that she cheated on him when he cheated on her.
That's the kicker, is that she took, it's like
convincing her it's her fault.
Yeah, it was her fault and she was the one that ruined it, but he was cheating on her like the whole time they were together.
Do you think that really forever changed her because
yes,
she regretted not having the baby?
Yes.
Oh, so
well,
sad.
allegedly, this is so allegedly, and like there's no actual proof of this at all, but many people think that the song Every Time, the one that she wrote herself, is actually about her, like that baby that she never had.
That's devastating.
Which is like tear jerking. You know what I mean? When you really look at the lyrics of it, it's like horrible. Like it's really sad. Anywho, wow, what a downer at the end of this.
Well, no, because every woman he comes into contact with has to go to work. Like every woman he comes into contact with, it's insane.
And he destroys their life and then walks away, basically.
Well, yeah, I don't even think, I won't even say, I'm not a woman and I don't know what her frame of mind was when she got the abortion or whatever, but I think that what probably fucked her up more was that when they broke up, that she ended up taking all the blame for it. She was probably like, do you know what I did to preserve like this relationship, your stardom? Like I had like a life-altering procedure to protect you. Why are you not telling the whole fucking world that this isn't my fault?
Yeah.
You know, like I think he just took for granted that he was just like, oh, we can't have this. And they're young or whatever, and he's a man and a stupid one, so he doesn't know what he's asking of someone when he's like, we just can't do this. You have to get rid of it, etc. And she did it, and then he fucked her over. That's the part that fucks you up, you know. Like, I did this for someone who literally does not give a shit.
That's heartbreaking.
Should we do a Fixing Famous People shower plate?
Oh, that's a good idea.
A shower, but she'll sue us then, and then we're all
will she?
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Kate, thank you for being with us as always. A lot of what is it, Bimberlake and Timberlake was happening, and it was great. Where can people find you?
If Jessica Biel should listen to this, please know I'm on your side, girl. I got you.
Yeah, we all are. When it comes to you or your husband, we're all on your side.
We're all on your side. Yeah. You can listen to my podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. It's called Reality Life with Kate Casey, and I cover all of unscripted TV, documentaries, reality shows, blah, blah, blah. And I have 6 episodes a week. Top of the week, I tell you what to watch. Tuesday through Friday are interviews. Saturday, I interview people who have a very cool personal story. You can check out my Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. Bonus episodes on Patreon. And every week I put out a what to watch list at katecasey.substack.com. And lastly, you can follow me on Instagram at @KCCA. TikTok, it's Kate Casey. Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky at Kate Casey.
My God.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic, where can people find you?
I mean, Jessica Biel could take a lesson from industrializing herself from one Kate Casey.
Yes.
That's who she needs to talk to. Fuck us. Jesus. The website's Domentary.com. The Instagram's at Dominick Pupa. The TikTok is at Domentary, but it's all the same shit as Instagram. So just go to Instagram or go to the Fixing Famous People Insta page. Christopher, where can the listeners of this broadcast find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/Fixing Famous People. You can also get our a la carte episodes for $5 on Apple subscriptions. I wish you both well, and as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.